Hello, this is Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories. My name is Osi Godwin, and I've got my very panicky pop girls here. Nimi Dekomi and Ife Omar.
Why are you closing us like that?
I was chatting with one of my friends and I was like, I'm very, very scared about the whole coronavirus thing. And he was like, I'm just being paranoid. It's all in my head. Because like everywhere I go right now, all I'm seeing is germs, germs, germs. I'm like, oh, if I touch this, germs. If I touch this, I'm so conscious right now.
I'm very scared. I'm scared about where I am. Like if I was in maybe, I don't know, Dubai or UK or something, maybe I'll be a bit relaxed because God forbid if something happens.
People are dying there.
Well, I mean, I'll still have a better fighting chance, like a way bed for me, or like somebody who knows what's going on. Here, I'm just very worried that, I don't want to be sorry. I just want to be super safe. Like, I'd rather be crazy safe that people are like, if I calm down, than risk myself and then
be nonchalant about
and then end up in the mercy of the Nigerian health system.
Do not want that.
I'm worried for Nigeria and Nigerians, but I'm not particularly scared personally. I don't know why. Like, I feel like I can't contact coronavirus.
Me personally, I am scared.
Because I'm taking measures. Measures that might seem rude, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to it's not even moving on, it's coronavirus. So, Dija says relevant authorities should create hygienic culture in Nigeria. She said this is an opportunity for NCDC and FMOH to create a hygienic culture in Nigeria. Our gutters, litter, lifestyle, etc. This is the time to truly do right and continue as part of a lifestyle. Also, increase the hygienic surroundings of NYSC, create first aid posts, teach.
I think this goes hands in hand with what Sheon Kuti was talking about.
Do you also remember when we were talking about malaria?
Yeah.
And I said you have to tackle this things from the roots. You can't just wake up and say you are dealing with malaria by dishing out. Yes, it's okay to be able to make sure that a person gets the kind of a medication they need, and lack of funds will not be a reason why they cannot get it. But why not try to fight malaria itself, right? And I just hope that people can learn, because I remember the Ebola period, we all were carrying hand sanitizers, being careful, washing our hands.
Here when that happened.
And then when that passed, it felt like they didn't care anymore. I also remember when I read this, what came to mind was what the Minister of Health for China said when they did that video that went viral. And he was saying something about us touching surfaces and whatever it is we touch on a daily basis, and then touching our face. That is not just about coronavirus. Any bacteria at all and any form of virus, once you can avoid touching your face, you can actually save yourself a lot. And that now reminded me of the times where I used to battle breakouts and acne. Those are one of the things they will tell you, do not touch your face. Like, it is repeated over and over again. So I hope that we can keep this culture, and also those that in those, is it authorities now, what would I call them? Because they're not behaving like they have authority. But yeah, those in that space should work, teach, empower, and let people start living more hygienic lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think a message is very important, and I'm going to focus now more on the coronavirus, the battle that we have to face right now. And the truth is, there are a lot of Nigerians that are unaware about coronavirus. It's very easy for us to be, because one thing I keep on saying is that a lot of Nigerians are disconnected from the reality of Nigeria, even while they are in Nigeria. It's very easy for you to go on social media, maybe you're on Instagram or you're on Facebook or you're on Twitter, and you're seeing people post about coronavirus, do this, do that, and like, oh, everybody knows that this is what you should do. And then you go out to the streets and you ask
to the
people,
driver,
talk to the ordinary people that are not really on social media, and you realize that they think that coronavirus is a hoax by the government. They think that they are just trying to use it to siphon money. So a lot of people are actually uneducated about, coronavirus and what it entails, what they should do. A lot of people don't have information.
Right.
So yes, I feel like the government needs to take active steps beyond social media now, because there are a lot of Nigerians that are not on social media. Beyond social media, they need to educate people, let people know what is going on, the steps that people should take. And we need to start cultivating a culture. It's not just the coronavirus thing, we move and then we go back to how it was before, which is what we were saying this morning. We have to ensure that going forward, we create a culture whereby some of the things that we used to do before, they stop. We can no longer go back to the way it was before.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that that's what happens, because it seems like here in Nigeria, it's very hard to penetrate change. Like even now, I can say, okay, yeah, we've changed in a lot of aspects, but it hasn't really been global. I don't know anything that has changed that Nigerian as a one country, we've jumped on it. So it's very scary, because I think we have to do that with this with this coronavirus that has come to visit us. And I'll take it back to climate change again and like the environment, which is also how this will be affected with Dija's statement, is that if the environment is clean, then we have a likelihood of, you know, solving this issue. And I remember talking about it earlier, that this is probably Earth's way of telling us to take a break and fix the environment. So I don't think Nigeria has a choice anymore. At some point, our roads are going to become empty and our schools will be empty and people are going to be sitting at home whether or not we like it. And I'm not trying to prophesy anything bad, but I know that we're not going to be able to tame it so well that it would not spread. It's already spreading now.
I don't think it's that bad. I hope so.
I don't even think
the way it is looking right now,
yeah,
there are a lot of, you know, whispers here and there, and there are signs that we might not really have controlled the coronavirus to the extent that we think that we have, because there are whispers here and there that there are some people who might have the symptoms and they've gone to places that have huge crowds and they are not coming forward to say that they have the symptoms. So
also,
you know, all those
this reminds me of the woman who they said died of coronavirus, and then finally the real news came out that she actually died of food poisoning. So whether you are coming back from UK, Italy, wherever it says China, please do not assume that you have the virus. I mean, you are a normal human being who used to have flu. You can have malaria, you can have food poisoning. So just make sure you are dealing with the right thing instead of now thinking it's coronavirus and waiting and something else is just going to kill you. So let's not be that panicky and assume that whatever sickness it is right now
but they should go for testing if you've traveled,
like
especially
based on that. I think one thing Nigerians need to start really doing, I'm talking about like government or employees and employers, is allowing people to self-isolate. I feel like that's not an option for people. And I understand because people eat from mouth to mouth, but the idea that I'm going to sit at home and not do anything is crazy to people. And that is the only way that this thing can spread.
Yeah, but then it also depends on the line of work. A lot of companies I know have actually said their staff to actually work from the home, but people who work in bank don't have that luxury. People who work in the media as well don't have that luxury. So it depends on where you work. And to get to that point, I mean, they're closing down schools already. Churches are gathering more than 50 people. So we are getting there.
But to be honest, even if companies shut down, we are looking at people who are working in companies. We should not forget that a huge percent of the Nigerian population live under $1 daily. So it's very hard for them to stay at home because these people, it's whatever it is. There are some people who don't have any money. It's whatever they make from going out that day. That's what they used to survive. So
and that's the worry.
Isolating is not even an option for them.
Which is
so
I
understand that. So I hope we don't get there.
Anyway, moving on and still not moving on. Popular televangelist Kenneth Copeland tells viewers that even if they lose their jobs because of coronavirus outbreak, they must continue giving to the church. He said, quote, "Whatever you do right now, don't stop tithing." He said he also coronavirus will kill you if you have faith in its ability to do so.
Man must hustle. That's how I saw it. I'm like, my guy knows his salary is from tithes. Guys, please.
But this man that we are talking about is worth over $780 million.
Money
I do
not
think
enough.
I don't think that if people stop paying tithe for the next 2 weeks, I don't think anything's going to happen.
Oh, you don't know what greed looks like, my darling.
So it looks like Kenneth Copeland.
Yes.
Actually, for me personally, this was not what I was expecting, especially from religious leaders. What I was expecting was that knowing, especially...
Really? Were you truly not expecting that? Because I feel like I was waiting for them.
I'm waiting for Sunday.
I was expecting
news that will come out of Nigeria.
I was actually expecting that ordinarily. You know, when you look at it, when you look at the big picture, you should expect that religious leaders, what they would do is to send relief materials, use the money, whatever money.
They can even do like Jesus is the best hand
send
sanitizer
money,
on a hand sanitizer
buy
pack.
sanitizers for their members, distribute, or send them cash, because there are a lot of families that would not, that isolating during this period would be very, very hard for them. So I expected that would be, you know, the reaction. But people are not working. Some of them are going on unpaid. It's not all companies that are actually paying their staff during this period. Some people have even lost their jobs. So you're saying even during this period, as they've lost, because even if you lose your job, still keep on paying your tithe.
At the same time, your tithe has to come from your earnings. So if you don't earn, so maybe we shouldn't just
even saying that. He said even if you're not earning,
when will you get it?
He said
if you're only he said because if you're telling me that you're relying on your salary, then there's a problem.
That Jesus is your source. So you should get the money from somewhere.
side hustle and give it, right? Okay, if that works for you, good luck with that. It's time for a quick break, but when we return, there will be more to discuss. Welcome to Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories and, of course, analyze them for you.
You can have both parents and still end up as a useless child. I see them every day.
Most times I worry more about where I'm coming from and where I am now, and that determines my next step.
Why are you sounding like
Alibaba
now?
Plus TV Africa, we're feeling good. No time to dull, everybody feeling alright.
Still make music and people are still buying. Sometimes I look myself minimal IO.
Akpala music is for mature-minded people. I got DMs sometimes from Malawi like,
Sleeping early.
Welcome back. This is still Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. Wizkid says he can never date nor marry a poor girl.
Should he be talking about that? Doesn't he have someone that he's dating?
After 3 children.
I thought she was just his baby mama. I don't think they are dating. Are they? Because there are always dating rumors surrounding.
Never will I do
so
such.
I don't think.
I mean, he has the right to come out and tell us what his standard
Yeah,
is.
true.
As much as I have the right to also say I can never date a poor man. Is that simple? So I'm not. Why
I think
looking
anybody should
that
have
way?
issues with what he said.
Yeah,
Because
I
have
don't think
issues
so.
with
I'm
it.
just saying that, isn't it even, it's weird for me when somebody's in a relationship and they're telling you things that they can't date. It's like, well, you're already dating someone, like, okay. But maybe he's not dating someone, I don't know. Maybe
But
he's
does
not.
Wizkid know that he can actually just be passing one day in his, whatever he's driving now, Bentley, and see
When it's
one
not
girl?
Nollywood.
Wait!
Nollywood
You
film.
see one girl. Let me finish. I watched Nollywood growing up. Please, I want to be myself, right? So he's passing. He sees the girl. You remember Olajumoke? Olajumoke is a star now, right?
Okay.
I see that like, wow, this is
potential.
beautiful, and he will invest in this babe and take her away from poverty to wealth. I mean, love can do, and
I think if anyone is capable of getting married to a poor person, it's Wizkid, because he can really, you know.
Yeah, but he has just stated
He has
it
a lot
now.
of legs. See, people state, but one thing you need to
When it
understand
hits
is that
you,
yes, first
it's
of all,
not
you
Nollywood
can
though.
never say never ever. You can be working with someone who like puts herself well, has charisma. He meets her maybe doing an interview or something, like she doesn't look poor, you know. So I think he has an idea of like some scruffy girl that's right.
I think
like
that's
you could
the
have somebody
mentality he
who
has,
like is just a normal
Packaging.
person. Package is nice, and you see that her family is from nothing. I don't think you'll have this energy. I don't
But
think so.
to be honest, one thing I've realized is that this concept of rich marry poor, or poor, it happens. But most of the time, what you have is rich marrying rich.
Yeah.
Because of family connections, blah, 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 blah. They always, you know, it's mostly in Nollywood, I always say that they can just marry anybody for whatever reasons. But when you come to the reality, you look at the rich people. When I say rich people, I mean 1% of 1%.
Yeah, they
You
don't-
realize
yeah.
that they only marry within the family.
Those ones are the wealthy ones. We're still talking of those that are not.
Oh, those that are
below
just
the
rich.
$1 mark.
Okay,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
ones they can still marry.
Anyway,
medium
good luck
people.
to you, Wizkid. You need to marry one anyway. So when I hear religion has ended this country, I laugh because it's the same disease affecting every binary thinking Nigerian. Religion has not ended us. A lack of quality education that favors pragmatic thinking has. The Jews are highly religious and generally regarded as smart. And this is coming from a writer on Twitter by the name Bumi. So to bring more clarity to this, pragmatic means dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations.
You see, when you make that definition, I completely disagree with her. I think the schools are doing okay because we have a functioning society, and people are schooled in Nigeria. You have bankers that can do their job. You have lawyers that can defend the law. You have, you know. So I don't think it's that we have obviously our education system can do better. We can have more, we can be stimulating more critical thinking, yes. But is religion not a problem in Nigeria? Are you kidding me? It is. The poorest countries in the world are the most religious. There's something about religion that asks you to turn down logic. Now that you could defend that for whatever reason, and that's up to you. And you can implement faith in whatever aspects of your life that you want to, and that's very fine. But you have to admit that, especially when it comes to mass beliefs, when it comes to things like everybody, like I'm a chosen, and chosen people do like this, or I'm a redeemer, all those type of stuff, it reduces logic. And there is a problem when you start to implement that in your life. Take, for example, coronavirus. You're going to hear pastors saying, you don't need to wash any hand. You don't need to do hand sanitizer. God is going to protect you. The God of pastor,
like
whoever.
Like said, your faith, if you believe he's not going to kill you,
then he won't kill you. So you can't tell, that for me has no space for pragmatic thinking. So if anything, that religion, and I'm not going to now spill into spirituality and believing in God, I'm talking religion, a mass gathered belief system is the most backward thing that can ever happen to humans, especially Nigerians. So I completely disagree with her. I understand that she's trying to defend religion, maybe because for her, the way she has implemented religion in her life, she's still thinking straight. But as a whole, let's be real, it's a problem.
I think I'm just going to build up on that and say that I understand where she's coming from. Religion is not the main problem of Nigerians, because even when you look at when you take religion away, there are still some people that are not religious and yet something's wrong upstairs. So, but to say that some of the problems that we've had, religion has not played a hand in it would be very, very dishonest. Because the truth is, you see a lot of people who are in high standard, like they are very educated, but when you ask them some questions, it's like their religion clouds their thinking and they're not able to look beyond their religion. So it's like, okay, I know you're an educated person. You should know, that this is what you're supposed to do, but you'd rather say, oh, my religion says this, so this does not make any sense. For instance, blood transfusion. There's a particular sect like this that they don't believe in blood transfusion. So now you have a child who needs to get blood, but you would rather let that child die than let the child, receive blood. And you would see a few questionable beliefs here and there. And it seems like, and these people are educated people. They went to school. And then it's like, where did your logic go? Don't you know this is the right thing that is supposed to happen? So I feel like religion still...
On this coronavirus issue, when they say isolate, let's not have gatherings of more than 50 people, one of your popular religious leader or whatever sends out a memo to say, you know what, we cannot have fractions of people in different places so that we cannot forsake the gathering of the holy ones and blah, 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 blah.
Come on. Gatherings of small people can still spread the virus. The virus is not looking at, oh, there are 100 people here, let me spread. It's not like that. So I feel like I understand where she's coming from, really. Religion is not like the major problem, but
maybe the problem is our interpretation of whatever religion we are holding on to.
I don't think it's just like Nigerians' interpretation of it. Because when you look at other countries that hold,
I don't think it's about the interpretation. There is something, in fact, what's the word? Eternally wrong with the way religion is built. The fact that there's one scripture or whatever it is, maybe Christians call it,
and it is subject to different interpretations.
So
that
it's not just
believe
about
the right
humans.
interpretation.
The system itself constructs everything is bad. But is it? Let me say this. Some atheist believers always like to push all the blame on religion. And I don't think it has that much power. Because you see some pastors, when they're actually right, advising Nigerians to do the right thing, they still don't listen to their religious leaders. So it's not that like as if religion is this bad thing that doesn't have any positivity or value.
So if you put it that way, maybe people now look for whatever verse or part of religion that would back their stupidity.
Yeah, they are illogical.
100%.
And that's the thing. And it's because
that is how I feel about it.
A lot of people feel like, as whatever it is that they read from scriptures is subject to their own interpretation of whatever it is that they've read. Which is why you have different, belief systems. Like I said before,
if you want to be somebody, the Bible can back it up.
Of course,
whatever it is that you want to do, you can actually find
an adultery.
And that's why you find people,
and
that's why you find that most religious people are racist, or they have like serious bias, or they are horrible people. Like
we have seen, or they're judgmental. There's always something.
There's something off about them, but sure.
And also, I wanted to say this, that if you look at extremely religious places, there is this hate for education.
Yes. Oh.
Look at the North, for instance.
That's a good one.
There's a huge glorification of.
I saw that when she said something.
There's less, education.
I was just going to touch on that when she mentioned the Jews, that the Jews are educated, and that's an absolute lie. Because when you look into the culture of Jewish people, there's a lot of problems, and that stems from religion. People said something about Dubai as well, that look at Dubai, they have religion. The women just started voting last year. We're talking about religion that maybe looks good on an economic level.
The economic level, the development and all. I think that's
then she should keep her thoughts straight, because she first said that it was not our problem, but we have many problems, and it's not just economic. So, and religion perpetuates all through that. So I was just going to touch on that, but it's
okay. I think that's how we wrap up this episode of Tea Time. Thank you for watching, and remember, you can catch up on this episode and all exclusive content by visiting and subscribing to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. You can also watch Tea Time on Arsu TV and in London on Ben Television. My thank you as always go to my co-anchors and the scary ones, Nimide Kombi and Ife Omai, and the entire production team. Thank you for watching. My name is Elsie Godwin. Do stay with us.